Warriors fans just got the worst news yet. And what's that news? That it is time to put on your clown nose and grab your rainbow afro because the 24-25 Golden State Warriors are a joke and the fan base is being treated as such with the recent actions, or rather inactions, by this front office, and it could not be more exemplified any more than it was last night, Christmas Day, against the Los Angeles Lakers, where Golden State falls 115 to 113 after some Stephen Curry heroics in the final minute of the game. Two insane threes, a double bang from Mike Breen, and it was all ruined because of what happened on the following possession that gave Los Angeles the win. Austin Reaves gets the ball inbounds. Obviously, the Lakers were going to look for LeBron in this scenario. Great job by Draymond denying that entry pass to him and kind of denying him on the cut to the rim as well. So what does Austin Reaves do? He just takes Andrew Wiggins off of the dribble. There's no help defense, and he lays it in with his offhand to win the basketball game. Unbelievable. And this marks the Warriors' 10th loss in their last 13 games. This team is an absolute joke. And ever since really the Anthony Melton injury, but they've really been a joke. And maybe I was too blind to see it earlier. I honestly think on my last video here on the channel, you're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith. What's going on, Dub Nation? But in my last video, I had said that this team is bad. At the end of the day, this team is bad, and it was the wrong decision to hoard this crop of young talent per se, in favor, or in lack of favor of going out and getting a real, legit, reliable, consistent secondary scoring option next to Stephen Curry. I think that's a great way to segue into Stephen Curry, right? Because this man just carries the Golden State Warriors, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This Golden State team, look at the numbers on the court, look at the numbers off the court. It isn't even a question that this team would be, you could argue, the worst team in the NBA, if not for number 30, night in and night out. But, I know you get 17 points last night in the fourth quarter on 70-plus true shooting. You get a whole game where he puts up 36 points from just the field alone. He didn't even go to the free throw line against the Lakers. He was one of the only 5 players in NBA history who have gotten 35 points on 70% true shooting, and Stephen Curry's 36 years old. The rest of the guys were like 24, 25. So unbelievable what this guy can do, but he can't do it on a day-to-day basis. He cannot do it for an entire 82 games anymore. And I said that in my last video. The writing has been on the wall for Golden State that they cannot rely on Stephen Curry for a full 82-game season anymore. And that's okay. That's so fine, because you're going to get those big-time performances like you saw against the Lakers last night, except you're not going to get help for the rest, maybe the other 50 or so games, as Stephen Curry literally cannot backpack the entire roster to the finish line and grab a win. I mean, Golden State goes out and tries to get a guy like, tries to go get Dennis Schroeder. They bring him in, and they say, oh, we have to adapt to how Dennis Schroeder plays. He doesn't play our style. Why did I think that was the most idiotic term of all time when the trade was made? I cannot believe that I bought into that nonsense. That's not how basketball works. You can't just adapt. First of all, Dennis Schroeder is not a guy who you can just mold yourself around for long stretches. Good player, great player. He's fine. But he's not a guy who can just transform the basketball game. I mean, and then the performances. And to be fair, let me be fair to Andrew Wiggins real quick, because he was playing a really good basketball game before the last possession. But at the end of the day, he got blown by. He got slow blown by. Walked to the cup by Austin Reaves, and maybe he was funneling him into the help. And we'll talk about who was supposed to help there in just a second. But I just think you got to play more head-on defense if you're Andrew Wiggins there. You're a great point of attack on-ball defender. I don't know why you just didn't believe in yourself there and allow Reaves to go one-on-one with you on the final possession of the game. It would have probably been a panic attempt to shoot or pass, and there wouldn't have been a good look for Los Angeles to win the game. Instead, he walks you to the cup and he lays it up with his offhand, and the game's over. You were supposed to go to overtime, 5 seconds left. The one thing you can't do is allow a shot at the rim, and you allow the easiest shot and the most high percentage shot that you possibly can in that scenario. And maybe another big reason for why that is because Jonathan Kuminga did not help. Jonathan Kuminga did not leave his man, Rui Hachimura, who was out of bounds. Jonathan Kuminga was face guarding Rui Hachimura, who was out of bounds. That is beyond me. It was beyond the logical thing to do in that scenario. Turn your head, Stop Austin Reaves. And keep in mind, people are saying, oh yeah, it would have been an easy dump off to Rui. Even if it would have been an easy dump off to Rui, you would hope that your most athletic player in Jonathan Kuminga could go and alter a pass like that and take a couple of more milliseconds off the clock, because that would have been paid dividends in that scenario. It was basically a buzzer beater for Austin Rivers. I keep saying Austin Reaves. I am distraught at the situation that happened last night. This could have been a turning point for Golden State, and it's just another setback in this long season that could become longer if they don't see any type of improvement on this roster. We'll talk more about the improvement that needs to come on this roster in just a moment. But first, I got to give a major shout out to our sponsor on today's show, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform with over 10 million active members, including yours truly. Want to know why? Because it's so easy to play, so aesthetically pleasing, and they give you so many opportunities to win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. They'll give you sick deals like a Taco Tuesday with a discounted stat projection, a Flex Friday where if you miss one of the squares or you don't go 100%, they'll give you your entry back in promo funds. It's so easy to play on Prize Picks. I got one going right now for the entire basketball season. They offer preseason projections for a season-long Prize Picks. So what do I have? I have Stephen Curry more than 26.5 points per game. I don't even want to talk about that square right now because he should probably be having more than 26.5 a game, but he's not able to due to his age and injury status so far this season. Regardless, hopefully Steph can pick it up, or else the Warriors will be in big trouble as well. I also have Zachary Rizache less than 10.3 points per game. That actually doesn't look too bad right now. He's coming into a bit of a slump here. He's at 10.6, so I'm monitoring that. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander more than 30.5 points per game. He's at 30.6 right now. It's sweaty on Prize Picks, but I love playing it, and you will too. And you'll love a free $50 in your account when you use our promo code CLNS. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use our promo code CLNS and get $50 for free instantly when you place your first $5 entry. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat types, and you can watch the real money roll in real time. So download the app, code CLNS, $50 in your account for free. Don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, so let's talk about the inadequacies more on this Golden State roster, because it doesn't just stop with Andrew Wiggins. It doesn't just stop with Jonathan Kuminga. And I've praised Andrew Wiggins this season. He has played pretty solid, but he just isn't the consistent enough, reliable number 2 option that Golden State needs if they want to make a big-time playoff push. I can't even say playoff run anymore. A playoff push. They're literally out of the play-in at this point. They were number 2 in the Western Conference standings at 12-3. They lost 10 of the last 13, and now they find themselves knocking on the door of the play-in. Unbelievable. So it doesn't just stop with Wiggins' bad defense there. It doesn't just stop with Jonathan Kuminga's lack of IQ. You got Brandon Podziemski, who, let's be honest, he stinks. He stinks. Another game where Brandon Podziemski only puts 2 field goals through the basket, plays inadequate defense. And oh yeah, keep in mind, Anthony Davis, the Lakers' arguably best player this season, wasn't even playing. He got hurt 7 minutes into the first quarter. Didn't see action for the rest of the night. Oh, so what you'd say? Oh, maybe the Warriors front court might have exposed the lack of depth for the Lakers in that spot. Nope, TJD stinks. Kevon Looney stinks, and he really hasn't even been seeing a great amount of minutes, a great number of minutes over the last couple of games. I think that needs to change. Looney is better than TJD, and we all know this. Still not that great, though, at the end of the day. Golden State's front court has always been the problem. They always need a big, but I think more so now, they just need that secondary score. And at the end of the day, the reason for this bad news, the root of this bad news, the person who is delivering this bad news to you is the front office, is Joe Lacob, is Mike Dunleavy, is Steve Kerr. Honestly, at this point, the NBA is a players' league, but I can't believe the Warriors situation where basketball decisions are being made by the owner, and he's not trying to tank the team. He's not trying to tank the team. He's just trying to do something that nobody's ever done before, and that is play and win on 2 timelines: the timeline for the future and the timeline for the now. And I think they've realized that this has been a massive mistake. They realized that not trading Brandon Podziemski, not trading Jonathan Kuminga for these stars that they could have gotten in the offseason was a massive mistake. And overall, the entire vibe of the Golden State Warriors just hasn't felt the same since Bob Myers left. I mean, since Bob Myers, with Mike Dunleavy in the position that he is now, first-time GM, arguably one of the fastest rising GMs that the sport has ever seen. He only started working on an NBA team a couple of years ago, not too long, less than half a decade it feels like. And he's kind of answering to Joe Lacob with a lot of basketball and personnel and talent evaluation decisions that in my opinion, is absolutely ridiculous because he was a former pro. He knows what players in this that are going to be successful in this league should look like, and he's kind of letting owner Joe Lacob walk all over him. Is that because he's a rookie? I'm not sure. And I'm saying he's a rookie. I know it's his second year. Feels like he's still a rookie too because he still feels scared to pull a trigger and make a move that maybe Joe Lacob doesn't necessarily wouldn't like. And I'm not saying that Joe Lacob and Bob Myers were going at each other, butting heads all the time. But maybe that's what the case kind of was. Maybe we don't know some things, and Bob Myers didn't like the way that Golden State was being run at the top. That maybe didn't allow him to make the moves that he wanted to make later on in his career, and he's decided, all right, well, this is it for me, and this isn't going to change in this place, and I'll just go be on TV. That's what it kind of seems like Bob Myers did, because he wouldn't let this stuff fly. He would have made a trade for Lauri Markkanen or Paul George. He would have done what this team needed to compete in the now for Draymond and for Stephen Curry in these latter stages of their career. This is total nonsense, and now you're in a spot where you can't even play catch up anymore. You can't even try to save face because there's nobody available. Shams Charania is still reporting Golden State still is in hot pursuit of a superstar. What superstar is available? Because the only superstar that you had on your radar today was Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, the news has come out from Miami. They will not be trading him. Pat Riley, in an official team statement, said, we don't like to speculate on rumors. We never like to even comment on rumors, but we have to. We feel like the need that we have to with this one as I just smack my computer because I'm so frustrated. We're not trading Jimmy Butler. So who's next? Is it De'Aaron Fox with the floundering Kings, with the underachieving Sacramento Kings? Is that going to save everything? No, that actually just makes more of a logjam in the backcourt at this point. Because you just traded for Dennis Schroeder. What are you going to do next? Trade for the only star that wants out in the league in De'Aaron Fox that just creates more of a logjam in the backcourt? Nope. There is nothing out there for this Golden State team to go and grab that puts them in a spot to contend in the Western Conference. And I haven't even talked about the fact that Kyle Anderson hasn't played at all for this Golden State Warriors team. I know people on Twitter were clamoring about him. Where has Slow-Mo been? I mean, he's Mr. DNP for this Warriors team, and I think he's a guy who could provide a lot of defensive versatility and a lot of facilitation to a team that doesn't really have a lot of that kind of stuff. I am incredibly frustrated with the current state of the Golden State Warriors. I don't think anything is going to change anytime soon. I haven't even asked you guys to answer a question today because this is mostly just a Golden State Warriors rant. And if you're gonna come at me for being so negative in the comment section, maybe look in the mirror and say to yourself, this team was a perennial contender for years on end, for the better part of a decade. And now they are one of the biggest laughingstocks of the league. People feel bad for Stephen Curry and what he has to go through and the carry job that he has to have over these clowns. I mean, it's not even Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Trey Jackson-Davis. It's not even these guys' fault at the end of the day. It's the fault of the front office who paraded them around like they were untouchable players and players who would take the mantle from Steph and Draymond into the future, who could be future all-stars and franchise players. The talent evaluation, the front office of the Golden State Warriors is worse than the talent evaluation of the local modified coach that cut me in 7th grade. Unbelievable and totally bogus. I don't know, man. Maybe I'll just end it with this. If you are not confident in the current state of the Golden State Warriors and you think this is just a disaster for the rest of Stephen Curry's career, because that's what it kind of seems like right now, like today's video. Hit that thumbs up icon on today's video. I'm trying to see 1,000 likes because you should be outraged. You should not want to support what is going on the basketball court for your Golden State Warriors right now. We're going to ride or die for the dubs, but man, something needs to change and something needs to change fast. I don't think that there are many opportunities for things to change. We could talk about it more on Twitter. Hit me up at Smitty@CS. And make sure you are subscribed to Golden State Warriors today. We're on the pursuit to 71,000 subscribers right here on the channel, and I will always give you the most authentic take on your Golden State Warriors on YouTube. So hit me up, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go Dubs.